What's up, everybody? It is May 12th, 2020, and Valorant has released its 0.50 patch notes today. I have a summary of what I pulled from the notes here for you guys, but I'll also put a link to the full notes in the description. So let's go ahead and go through this, what I have. All rifles have been updated to make single tap and burst fire more efficient. The idea here is to support the viability of all rifle shooting styles, tap, burst, and spray, when used in optimal situations. This is tied to gun recovery time, which we'll touch on more in the notes below. Rifle recoil recovery time is somewhat faster. Viper. Slight buff. Viper's Poison Cloud no longer enters cooldown when picked up during the buy phase. Sage. A nerf here. Slow orb zone duration decreased from 9 seconds to 7 seconds. Slow orb slowing amount decreased from 65% to 50%. So Cypher, nerf. Cyber Cage no longer slows enemies that move through it. Spy Cam cooldown when destroyed increased 30 to 45 seconds. Omen gets a little buff here and a nerf. Dark cover smoke duration increased 12 to 15 seconds. Dark cover smoke projectile speed increased. Dark cover cooldown increased 30 to 35 seconds. Sova. Sova's Owl drone now includes a layer of sound for engine rotors. Fixed multiple spots where Sova's recon dart could over-penetrate map geometry. Added faux coloring for Sova's Hunter's Fury. Height required to jump out of all damage area denial abilities, 80 to 120. I'll explain that in a second. Snakebite, Fireball, and Incendiary damage tick speed increased. Total damage per second unchanged. Basically, because of bunny hoppers, how they would jump out of ground fire and poison a little quicker, they have increased the height of these ground and poison fires. They've also increased how fast they do damage. Here, cost of character abilities. This is a bit of a big one. Sage Barrier Orb increased from 300 to 400 credits. And you can see the rest here. Basically, some of their abilities have just been increased in price. But here, down below, where Jet's updraft was reduced from 200 to 100 credits. They basically wanted to make sure that the abilities matched the price for what they were giving. I like how they definitely cut Jet's updraft in half because it's just like a little jump. Here, some other patch notes. Armor carried over from prior rounds is no longer destroyed when new armor is purchased, allowing you to sell newly purchased armor and return to your previous armor status instead of having no armor. We've made a few changes that should allow attackers better opportunities to contest A main, mid top, and B tower. Basically, some objects have been moved around. They're giving attackers better opportunities to take control. Now, backside of spawn barriers are now opaque to prevent some abuse cases. And lastly here, these notes. Teammate armor is now shown on the scoreboard. Dead players will now appear grayed out on the HUD rather than hidden. Team colors on the HUD will swap when switching sides, rather than the teams on the HUD changing position. When the spike is planted, the spike icon in the upper middle UI now pulses with the audio beeps. Moved leave match button is closer to the other exit buttons in the menu. So now instead of the leave button being like up at the top left, I think it's going to be at the bottom left. I'll have to check that later. Enabled attack and defend icons in the upper middle game info UI for all players, not just observers. And lastly, it's a pretty cool one for those who may get triggered from different chat. Profanity filter setting added when enabled will filter out profanity from chat. So there you go guys. That's been the 0.50 patch notes. This is May 12th of 2020 Valorant. Peace.